Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of True Dungeon Talk with Trent. My name is Trent of TrentTokens.com. I'm a huge fan of the game called True Dungeon and a very avid collector of tokens, which you can see back here on the shelves, and there's actually a bunch hiding behind there as well. So today's a special episode. This is episode 3 of the 20th Anniversary Retrospective, and today we're going to be covering 2008 through 2011 with the creator of True Dungeon, Jeff Martin. So without further ado, let's get to the man, the myth, the legend, Jeff Martin.
Hello. Hey.
Oh, look at the audience.
They're looking fetching today.
Very fetching audience. Oh, yeah. Hello, Jeff, and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course. Let's see. How's your mic's good, right? Your mic's not too far away from your face. So. Sounds good. Hopefully everybody can hear me and Jeff. That's great.
Somebody put a age filter on the lens, though.
Is it one of those new Instagram fancy filters?
Yeah, something's going on.
Yeah, even when we first started, I think the filtering has happened on this on both of us. So let's say hello to some people in chat. Dave, hello. My wife, hi, honey. Gilstraff, hello. And Tom and Ashley say hi. Tom is packing the house, and Ashley is working on a new costume for TD. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That sounds like something's coming. And then Thomas says hello as well. Hello, Thomas. So thank you all for joining live. And, of course, if you have any questions for Jeff, feel free to put those into the chat. So like I said, today we're talking about 2008 to 2011, the retrospective. But before we get to that, let's talk about last month. Last month was Chapter 3, and hopefully everyone was able to do that. I thought it was awesome. So what, if anything, can you tell us about Chapter 3? How did it go? Did we learn anything?
I think it went really well. We had a couple awesome NPCs, and we're expanding on that for next weekend. But I think people are happy to have the NPCs back, and we were able to get some to have their schedule work out so they could come in. That worked out well. And it was fun, and it's great working with some awesome NPCs that really bring the dungeons alive.
Yeah, I think the NPC definitely went up a notch in the how often we encountered them and how interactive they were. It was 2 new NPCs, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, relatively, yes. Yep.
Right. Well, I mean, for the dungeon itself, so that was cool. Yeah. And Thomas says volunteers are awesome. All capital letters. I agree. Volunteers are awesome. Now, speaking of Virtual True Dungeon, the next one, Chapter 4, is next week. Oh, can't wait.
And here the crazy part is it's the last one for a while. The next one after that's not till August. So that's better get your, all the helpings you need, because it's going to be a while. But yeah, it should be a blast. We actually have, if I can spoil it, 3 live NPCs next week. So that'll be awesome.
What? 3?
Yeah. 3.
3's better than 2 in every game.
Yeah, 50% better. It's awesome. Yeah.
Now,
plus we also have some awesome new puzzle stuff. We've got some large rooms and some fun puzzles coming up. So I think it'll be a really popular, good way to end it before a break. Yeah.
Now, as you may know, I love to play Barbarian, so I usually hit puzzles. Are these puzzles hittable? With my axe? Yeah.
No, but you might have fun. I think there's some cool stuff. We've got this one that's a really large, like, walk around space. That's a puzzle I think you'll like.
And, cool. Yeah. Very, very cool. Kurt Resner says, "Yay, puzzles." All right, so we got a puzzle fan there. Yeah, the group I often run with, they love puzzles, and they're a lot smarter than me. So I contribute like one thing in a puzzle. So that's one of the cool things about the game no matter what you enjoy, there's always something for everybody. So that's next week. 3 NPCs. That's very cool. And as we discussed, this is the 2008 to 2011 retrospective. There is a lot to get through. So this is the 20th anniversary of True Dungeon, which is incredible. And there is a bunch to get to. So I'm just going to dive right in. We're starting off with 2008. Jeff sent me a bunch of pictures from each year, and we're going to go through them year by year. Here's 2008. And wow, a map. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, I guess before we get started, I want to thank the person that took most of them. That's Fritz. Fook, she is she took photos for many years and helped make like little riddle reveal presentations. So she was awesome all those years doing it. So thank her. So
thank
photos
you,
by Fritz. Photos by Fritz.
Photos by Fritz. Thank you, Fritz.
Thank you, Fritz.
Yep. So this is the map of the Marriott. This is the big 20,000 square foot big ballroom they have, and this was massive back in the day. The current place rent's around 50, so it's a little different, but they had some air walls that we could use, which helps kind of divide up, keeps the light and the sound pollution down. But you can see there on the right, that's the little tavern we made where you got started and then headed into the module. This one was weird because we had, if I believe this is Hope for the Lost, and we had like a combat and a puzzle version.
Right.
They met at the end where they had to defeat Uz. That's how I pronounce it anyway. There's a puzzle and a combat version. They all met in the same room. But one group was fighting him. The other ones had to try to solve this puzzle. And for them both to be successful, they both had to succeed. And I thought it would be fun to make that part of the experience. Not a very popular design decision on my part, but
I've heard.
Yeah, but it was nice to see people. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, this is the first time we ever had a big ass monster, as you can see on the map.
I saw that there. I don't know. This is a PG-13 show, I would say. So I guess we can say big ass monster.
Yeah, it was a giant snake that he polymorphed into, and then came in through the curtain into the room.
Cool.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool. It was fun too, because in the intro to the room, I don't know if you could see up there, just to the left of room 7, you see a room with like divided in half by like a curtain kind of thing.
Yeah,
we had the parties. Yeah, right there. We had both parties line up and face this like picture frame with a curtain, and it was supposed to be like a mirror of opposition. But it was a hopeful one. So anyway, they curtained open and they were just like staring at each other. And they're like, what the heck? This is weird. But anyway, then the DM explained that now they're divided up in half, and one group's going to attack and the other group's going to try to solve the puzzle.
Very cool. So. It sounds amazing. Yeah, but I could see how people would have trouble if the combat is successful and the puzzle isn't, or vice versa. Of course, they're going to blame, point fingers. There, we would have done it.
Right.
But hey, teamwork, right?
Sure. Teamwork. Yes.
Oh,
all right. So this was
drawings.
Also, this is the first year that we offered as a premium that if you got, I think it was $1,000 worth of tokens the whole year, you got one of the modules. And I really like the old-fashioned AD&D first edition modules. So I asked Brian Kelly to, I gave him the module ahead of time and asked him to try to draw these up in the old style that you might see back in the day. So that's what he did. These are all scenes from the module that he wrote up, that he was able to create in the old world style.
Wow.
Pen and ink that had kind of the first edition, late 70s look. I thought he did a really good job.
These are all just scenes from very cool.
Yeah, we put them together and to make them look like the old first edition modules, and we did that for a number of years. It was kind of fun.
And each of these things that we're looking at were things inside the dungeon.
Yeah. Yep.
I wonder what this was.
And then somebody, I don't know.
You should definitely look. Whatever this is, you should definitely look.
Look behind the screen.
Thomas asked a question. Was room 3 a room you needed to win to get a treasure token? Were all room 7s? Question mark. A little confused by the
Yeah, I
second
don't
question.
remember. Yeah, back in the day, you basically, if you were successful in a, this is from the 2007 one, I think. But anyway, if you were successful, you got to pull a random treasure out of there, and out of a random generator. And it got a little too hairy because it was just too hard to leave those things unguarded. DMs would go and break, and it just became better just to move it to the end into epilogue and just always give them 3. That way they're not too, because we had people spoiling puzzles and stuff because they wanted to make sure they got the treasure. So we decided to make it just maybe better for everybody if it wasn't merit based and it was just everybody got 3, and that made it a little easier.
So this was one of those big changes. Yeah, and Thomas meant room 7, right? This was also the year of the infamous deck of many things.
Yes, yeah. We had golden ticket fun. Made up these really cool looking I always liked the deck of many things when I was a kid. I had several characters die horrible deaths. I never quite did well with them. Every once in a while I draw a good one, but I always said I was going to draw like 4 because I'd get greedy. Anyway, so I thought it'd be fun. And so I made up these cards and really nice looking old antique bone look to them. And we put them out on the table and we said, there they are. You can see them. And some of them were good and some of them were bad. And we said, hey, whatever it is, you got to stick with it. So we had 2 or 3 people that said, no, I'm not drawing. That's okay. Because some of them were like, you're always -2 to hit, or you're always, and I'm assuming these people are still, if they're still playing, they're still going with that negative.
Yeah, I see 2 players that I recognize right off the bat here. Here's one of them. She's still playing.
Yeah.
He's still playing back here. Yeah.
Yeah, and the fun part is that there was 1 left. They didn't get claimed. 1 or 2. I think it was just 1. Anyway, it was the best one too.
No way.
Yeah, it was later.
It's so funny.
It was later on. Yeah, there's Gary with his.
Yeah, the famous Gary. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did they keep these cards, or did you keep the cards?
Yeah, they kept them there, and people still bring them out every once in a while. I'll see somebody wearing one.
Oh, cool.
They're still good, and they still work. And yeah, one guy got his weapon changed to from a +2 Holy Avenger to a +3. They wrote it in by hand and signed the back. So, he's the only one that got a +3 Holy Avenger.
Yeah. That's, and I think technically we call that, I don't know if you call that, but that's what the collector community, I think, has decided that it's an artifact because it's assigned to that person. So, and what are we looking at here? This is the name of the module, right?
Yeah. Also, there was I don't know if anybody ever remembered. Dennis Baird. He was an author, and he played a lot back in the day. He doesn't play much anymore. He retired, and it just wasn't in his plans to come to Gen Con anymore. But he wrote a novella for this. It was like a prequel to the adventure, and that was really cool.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any of these available on the site, but when I acquired them, and I kept one for my collection, of course, for the rest that I put on my site for people to buy.
Yeah.
And
so this is one of those.
Show.
Yeah, this is one of those slides that Fritz made up for the thing. This is just the intro. We had a drow give the intro this year, and then I guess there's people saying, "Hey, don't kill me." I don't know why they're doing that, but it works.
Well, it's a drow. I mean, drow are badass.
They're mean. Yeah, this is one of the first puzzles. You had to figure out how to get that holy symbol apart and put it on a thing to unlock the door.
Ooh.
Somebody tried earlier. Well, looks like they get sprayed with acid. And
they
died.
They didn't survive. Oh, that looks like a brain teaser for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and this
Yep.
is what you
There's
needed
the.
to put it into, right?
Yep. Yep. We had to get the square off of there. Yeah. It was a
Very
cool little
cool.
fun thing. Yep. We had an automatic secret door open up that if the blue hen didn't fall asleep, which happened, I think, the door would open when you solved it. Yep.
Cool.
There's
Wow.
Jason. Yep. Yep. Uh-oh,
Oh.
next room was a sturge attack. Yeah, everybody got a little sturge away around their neck. That was fun.
Oh yeah, you did
Little
this
plushie.
with the spider thing in 2016, 17, 18, I forget. There was a
Sure.
one
Yep,
of those
same
years.
thing. It's the first time we did it.
Wow.
Looks like this is the DDA going through.
Yep. Yeah, that's a really fun thing because it kind of spices it up. Yeah, that was fun. I remember that. But I didn't do this one. I did the spider one.
Sure. Yeah, and this is room 2 was just a puzzle where you had to figure out what their faces were or sins, and then you had to apply the opposite virtue to it. So one guy might be avarice, and you had to charity was the opposite of avarice, that kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
So it's
Dave says that he remembers the those friggin' sturges. And Kurt Ressler says, Sturge, I still have mine from when you auctioned them. Oh, cool. So I guess those ended up on the auction block.
Yep. And this was just the side in there. So I would just keep going.
Okay. And this talks about each of these guys.
Yeah. Yeah. And this was just the different sloth and yeah, basically pride and humility. And in room 3, they had this was more of a group problem solving type thing. They had to get this key out using the rope and then without dropping it. It was a heavy key too. It was a heavy metal key, so it was not easy to do.
That's
they had to figure out how to get it out. Yeah, the only bummer about this is I stole my son's jungle gym out of the backyard. He was not happy.
Oh no.
Not happy at all that I stole it. We painted it with fluorescent green and yeah.
That's cool. Did you give it back?
He didn't want it back because it was painted green.
Oh, it's so mean.
Yeah.
All right, what happened here?
This room was fun, and then it was a combat, but before that, there was a trap to disarm, and there's the world's best rogue trying to disarm it. There was a clue on the other side of the wall that there was a scorch blast. That was your clue that there was something going to come out of there if you weren't careful.
Oh, very cool.
Then on the chasm, you got to fight the Mind Flayer. Dun, dun, dun.
Wow, that's a scary monster.
This is where Jason Brown got all his brains sucked out of his skull.
Oh, that's right. I think we have we got a photo
right
of
there.
So that's his excuse for being, not very bright. So
he's like, yeah. And that's the scary part. He's like the smartest people ever. And this is even after that. So, yeah.
How he would have been without that. This is cool.
This is where you had kind of a choice. This is one of where you could either fight the giant or you could try to solve this puzzle. This was a little bit of a difficult puzzle. It was hard to track, but it's based on an old World War II bomber thing I read on the internet. But basically, if you knew the story of how they where they decided to put the armor plating, they had some extra weight and they're going to reinforce. I think it was the B-29s with some extra couple 1,000 pounds of armor. They were trying to figure out where to put it, and they decided to put it where basically all the planes were not getting hit that were coming back.
Interesting. I've heard a similar story. They were trying to figure out how, because the ones that made it back, they made it back, but the other ones didn't. So how? So exactly, because where the bullet holes hit, they survived. The ones who made it back. Right. Yeah, that's kind of a cool story.
Same thing.
What a cool monster here.
This guy was asleep, and here's our action model Jason yet again. He's asleep, and he had to send your rogue through this maze to get the key to open the gate to keep going. So, and the DMs running this were really sticklers. If you touch that at all, they would say, "Oh, he wakes up." There were little bells on there, I think. They're elastic
Oh,
cord.
cool. Sure. Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
see.
basically we made it. They wanted you to. So basically, he usually 90% of the time would wake up and fight the party.
Of course. Yeah, very cool.
So, and the
Ooh.
next room was you walked in and there. We ran it a couple of different ways depending if you were playing it this way or at True Realm later. But I believe when you walked in, it was an angel type person, and then later on it was revealed it was really a fire demon. And we used this really cool invisible fluorescent paint that you couldn't see under normal light, but when you activated the UV light, it really glowed. So you could
Oh, okay.
transform an angelic form into more of a scary one. And there's the eye of Uz, so on her belt there.
Wow. That must have been scary.
So,
And this is how they trick
yeah.
you here.
Yeah,
Like,
this
we're
is what they
innocent.
look
Everything's
like.
fine.
Yes, we're fine. We're innocent, and then bam-o. And then there's a anagram puzzle on the back there for hope. Hope for the lost.
Cool. And here's how they, here's the reveal. Oh, boy.
Yeah, and you'd see spiders from Loth on the wall, and then the eyes would appear. So this would be a total transformation. The room
Very
would change, and the people would change, and yeah,
Awesome.
looked pretty cool. It was a cool effect.
Kurt Resner says Jeff DM'd us at True Realm for the Ogre Room. Stacy made it through in perfect silence. Jeff cheered for her. The party joined in cheering. Oops, you woke him up.
Yeah, that's how you get them.
You woke him up.
Shouldn't cheer.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think there was a monk NPC along with the angel or something.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
remember exactly. So I think that was just the story there.
Very cool. What a great. And here's a very cool photo.
Yeah, Fritz took this again. This is really nice. This is Brian Kelly, the guy who did all the illustrations we looked at earlier. These were really cool. These were real feathers, handmade things I bought at a trade show somewhere, haunt trade show. Anyway, he was painting the UV special UV stuff on there.
Yeah, that's very cool. And here is that anagram, right?
Yeah. And I'll be first to be honest. I don't remember what it was. Somebody type it into their computer quick. Hope for the lost means something else. I don't remember.
Mirror of
There's
Faith.
the Mirror of Faith.
Oh, when they saw each
basically.
other.
Yeah, when it opens up, if you have enough faith, it'll grant you a help, and so it doubles your party.
Cool.
And one of them goes to fight this guy, and the other one goes to solve the puzzle.
Wow, that's a.
And this is where the big ass monster. There's Uz.
UTZ?
So instead of fighting him, I think it's UIZ. I always pronounce it Uz. I don't know if it's correct.
Oh,
I think I heard
IUZ? Because there's a token ring of IUZ, I think. Is that this monster?
Yeah, that might be it. I don't know. I heard Frank Metzger say it that way once, I think. But anyway.
Okay. Well, this is a scary looking monster. He's got some stomach issues.
This guy's got a lot of guts.
There's
the big ass monster. Yeah.
Oh, this is the big ass monster. Oh, cool. The technical term.
Yeah. This is our first kind of big. I mean, earlier in the module, you got to see the giant stand up. He was really cool, but this one was fun. It came into the room as a big surprise.
Oh, that's right. I saw from the map he was pushed in. So that was kind of quite a reveal with the big mouth. Oh, wow. Ugh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and there's a puzzle in here, Sudoku style. You had to basically figure out, once you did all of them, it spelled a word diagonally. I think it was musical, and it was a musical puzzle anyway. And then this was part of the puzzle to solve the final thing.
All the plates. I think we have another shot of it. Yeah, here's the shot.
Yep. There you go. Or different rings, I think, and you had to put the ring on or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, there's a bunch of little tiny objects on these plates as well, and except one of them's kind of got a big globe. Wow, very sweet.
Yeah.
Now this is funky. What is this?
Well, we had these really cool. The thing they were trying to do was get the object out of the hands, and if they solved it successfully, the big amber yellow things would glow really bright. And then there was a light set up to make that curtain around it glow, so it looked like a prismatic like sphere or cylinder of like a magic protection. So anyway, this is after they've solved it and they're reaching in to grab the thing they need.
Oh, very cool. And here's
they are
photos by Fritz.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fritz, for all these awesome
DBA.
photos.
Yeah.
And if anyone saw the show the last time we had this, I can't remember if I was talking to Jeff or David or maybe both. I think I was talking to Jeff. These smiles just reinvigorate me and bring me such joy. I mean, look how happy everyone is. Oh man, that's what I wish everybody would do who's never played. Play it once, and if you smile like this, then you know this is the game for you. What a great group of people.
We had a bard contest, I think. I'm remembering.
Right.
And,
I think this person won.
Yeah, he was awesome, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So,
here's the
and
riddle
this is
reveal.
just a picture of the reveal. This is all a lot of helpers that helped put it all together. And we had a few things to auction off there.
When you guys did the riddle reveal, did you always auction something off at each one?
I believe most of the time. Maybe the first ones we didn't, but eventually we started doing it. Yeah.
I see.
Signage and items and stuff. Yeah.
So this is the end of 08. So then let's go to 09. And first up for 09 is True Realm. Jeff says that's a crew. I think talking about that photo group.
Yeah,
So,
it's a crew. Again, we're still in the Marriott at the big thing, and we've got a larger setup there.
So here's training in room 1.
Yeah.
Oh, in room 2 there's like a checkerboard.
And, some different puzzles. This is when we also did a revisit of the very first module. This was 5 years after we get started, and people missed the first year. 5 aspects it was called, and we ran it so that a lot of people could play that first year module. Had some fun.
I just noticed this. A party member is grabbed.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, what happened there?
That was part of the fun. Well, I think this map, the one you're looking at, this is True Realm.
Yeah,
right?
True Realm. This is True Realm.
Yeah, this one, we had a little intro basically while it was playing, and it was a distraction, and basically this part of it was just part of the weird thing that we ran at True Realm. But yeah, basically they turned up later. They disappeared. They turned up later.
For those who don't know what True Realm was, can you please explain what that was?
Yes, I had a brilliant idea of saying, "Hey,
brilliant!
Let's do brilliant." Yeah, I wanted to do something local because we spend so much time packing all the stuff up, taking it to Gen Con, taking it back, and then there's also this logistics of doing that by being able to do it here locally. I thought we could do something really cool and big. And it just was just bad circumstances. We had a tragedy happen, and so it kind of took the sales out of the whole thing. It was nice that we had folks that actually showed up and helped set it up, but it wasn't the event I wanted it to be. But we were able to at least get it off, and I think we entertained people enough, hopefully. It was great to see all the people that did come, and I think hopefully we did as well as we could under circumstances. So
understood. Yep. Kurt Resner says that True Realm equals the best weekend ever. So we have a big fan there.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the nice thing about that, the best thing about that weekend for me was that's when the Nagleys came along and the Cooks.
Cool.
They decided to come out to this thing, and yeah, that was odd. If nothing
the rest is
else, for
history.
True Realm, we got to see. Yeah, we pressed the Nagleys enough that they came back later after that. But
Wow. So this was the 2008 version of the 2017 True Dungeon Celebration. This was like the grandpa of that.
Yes, that was it. Yeah, only in a much worse location and
Okay.
that
Well,
creepy place. This is all we could get. There really wasn't any place available in Southern Illinois. So
this
yeah,
is where
this is
you built the dungeon.
Yep, in an old factory that got converted into an old creepy warehouse. So.
Oh, that converted into a True Dungeon event. And this was the crew, the build crew.
Yeah, there's a lot of awesome folks that came and helped set this thing up. Couple of weekends, so we weren't even around, me and Lori. So a lot of folks came and helped set it all up.
Wow.
I left them a map, and they helped out.
Who's this guy here? Right there.
I'm not sure who that is. I don't know. I'm weirdo.
Someone in the chat named Jeff Chandler says Realm was fun, and it was definitely creepy. I wonder why it was so creepy.
Oh, yeah. Should be there at night when you're like, you hear like a raccoon crawling through some sheet metal, and you're like, well, I hope that's not a dangerous animal that just came into the building.
Raccoons can be dangerous. Don't try to feed them with your hands.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff says that Chandler says that person was a lot younger then. And Kurt Resner says Realm also had First Grind, which is when Stacy and I joined the DDA. Well, very cool.
Yeah, that was also the first, I think Raven was the first one to do a solo run then. This is the starting area for the director's cut module, which I just thought this was a nice photo. You can see the old character cards, and
wow,
Gary and his dad made those wooden carriers that had all the stuff everybody needed, and we reused all this stuff, and it, these are really nice, cool organizers they made.
Wow, that is cool. Here's some people having a good time.
Scott seems to enjoy the barbecue. It looks like. Anyway, we had a little barbecue dinner that night, first night I think, and hosted some people out at 17th Street. So this was just this is a long, crazy, low walk along to get to True Realm. You had to walk behind the back of the place.
Interesting.
So yeah, this is what we call the hallway of regret, where basically people are walking and go, "What did I talk myself into?"
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
This looks like it's kind of like what movie was that with De Niro? Yeah, go right around the corner. Yeah, just keep around the corner, right there.
Keep going.
So keep going.
Yeah.
No, a little further.
So would have made a perfect set for a post-apocalyptic movie.
Yeah. Someone's been stirged.
Yes.
So there's a lot going on here. There's the sturge, which happened, and then you get to see the old hit point marker, which is very cool. The old class card, and some very cool tokens. These are great for this time frame here. I mean, 07, 07, 08.
Yeah, this is the Terrys. They were really active. He was the guy that got the really cool Knight card earlier that year for Deck of Many Things, a really cool one. So they had a baby many years ago, and they live in California. We haven't seen them much since, but we hear from them once in a while. We get a Christmas card from them. They seem to be doing. They got 2 really cute kids, I can tell you.
Oh,
so
very cool.
There's Mike Lutz. He's playing. He's got his knee pads on because he's playing a rogue, and he's crawling out of the rogue tunnel.
Okay.
This is where you could get.
He came prepared.
Get yourself. Yeah, he wanted that T-shirt awful bad, I think. So
who doesn't, right? I love the inventiveness of people. Look at this token carrier here, and it says Rogue down here as well. So yeah, this might maybe Benia made this because she does these zipper things. Maybe Benia made that. Bill Fry says hi all, hello, and Jeff Chandler says let's. Cool.
Yeah.
So the Angels were back at the True Realm.
Yeah, this is the director's cut. We called it for Hope for Loss, and this one we flipped it. They basically started out as demons and became angels. So,
cool. Uh-oh.
There you go.
This
Same
looks
thing.
demonic.
I think I just wanted to show the really cool effect that spray paint has. That it just can totally change your appearance.
Now, is there paint on these wings, or is that the light?
Yep, it's paint.
Wow.
It's the invisible UV reactive paint. Yeah.
That's crazy. So that's True Realm in 2009, and then here is Gen Con 2009, right?
Yeah. This is the Marriott, the same place. Yep. We had the tavern at the end this time. It wasn't well attended. This was like one of the last times we did the big tavern, just because it took up a lot of space, and putting it at the end was a dumb idea for me. But that's the only place we really had to put it, and it was people basically have, once their event's over, they've got other things to do, and they didn't stick around long. So
yeah, this has True Grind, the smoke entrance, the aspects, and also a mini quest. What was the mini quest?
Yeah. Well, we got some photos of there. Basically, the idea was just to do something that was really like rules light and just fun, just to get people, into the idea of like interactive kind of games. So they were all really simple. I think the rooms were shorter time. I think they were only,
Yeah, it looks like room 1, 2, 3, and 4. It looks like 4 rooms.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So they weren't really too difficult stuff. It was more just for fun.
I see.
It was fun just to get people into the concept of, again, this was like before escape rooms were even invented yet. Well, this was the year they were invented, I think, in Japan, what people think of as escape rooms. So we were trying to basically get people into the idea of
got it.
doing this kind of thing.
I mean, I forget what that article was, the USA Today or some magazine or paper, in essence credited True Dungeon as being the first escape room. So that's probably
cool. There's all kinds of stuff that's been along. Yeah, I think on that subject, real quick, I'll just say I think it's such a really cool idea that it's just popped up in several weirdos' heads over the years and all over the globe, and it just kind of came up in different forms. So I don't think there's a first. I think there's just there's old TV shows from the 70s that did something similar to that. So I didn't know about them, but I wish I had seen them as a kid. But anyway, it's cool. This is the Bukabades, as they call themselves. So this is just some awesome volunteers that would, I think they still do this, get together. Fritz took this picture, so I thought since we wanted to thank her, she's the one on the right with the True Dungeon t-shirt on.
Very cool.
I put this picture in there and say, that's Fritz. She's the one that took most of these photos.
Thank you, Fritz.
Yeah.
She's the historian, the librarian of True Dungeon.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
So now...
this is in the dungeon. This is a cool effect. It's called Pepper's Ghost. And it's where you use like an angled piece of glass to make like a transparent image appear. So if you can imagine this skeleton would climb out of the... there's like a little sarcophagus there on the ground, would climb out and attack you, and it looked really awesome. I mean, like, it was a really cool effect. We had it set up. It's technical, but basically there's a dual image that's all black that the creature's in, but by using a painted glass at a 45 degree, it makes them all look like they're in the same space. But since it's a reflection, it's like very realistic and 3D looking thing. So
yeah, I can kind of see that effect with the hand. Yeah, it looks very cool. And Chandler says about the idea of the escape room being one of the first. He says it's part of the collective unconscious. So I would agree with that. Now this looks cool. This looks like the beginning of an adventure.
Yes, there's just yeah, I think I wanted to show this because it's just even back in 2000, whatever this is. I don't know. Are we in 10 now? No, we're in 9
This,
still.
yeah, 9. This actually says
Even
golden
back
ticket.
then, yeah, this is the golden tick run. But even back then, had a lot of people that were really into collecting the tokens, and haven't seen Joe in a while. But there's still some of these guys are still around.
Yeah. I
Pretty
see.
cool.
I just noticed the purple bag. So here's the purple bag
Yeah,
of of the golden ticket rather. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, and then I think I've seen this before too. This little booklet. Um,
That was a big booklet. Dave Racky put those together every year. Kept
yeah,
adding to it.
the
It was a
guide.
voluminous tome. Yeah, it was like every token. It was definitely the predecessor to the token DB.
Wow.
Because yeah, it was a lot of work for him, and it was great. People really liked that thing.
I love watching people open up bags of tokens. Even this picture brings me joy. One of my favorite things is to when I'm walking into the dungeon or out of the dungeon and I see people opening up their
Yeah,
packs and trading. I don't know. It
yeah,
brings me such great joy. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, there's Raven.
Oh, and
She's this
Kurt
is the
says
coach.
he's sorry. Kurt says he's there. Kirk, are you in here somewhere? Where are you, Kurt? So,
He's,
all right. So back to Raven. So this is definitely the
again,
Raven show. We have a lot of photos of Raven here. I
yeah.
hope that's okay, Raven.
Well, yeah, I think she's the official preferred Fritz model for a lot of these. 'Cause I think Fritz took these during golden ticket runs and DVA runs, and
Yeah,
yeah,
that might
she
be it
wanted the
here.
best.
So Kurt is here in this blue thing
Yeah,
made by
it's on the
Binia.
left.
So
It's on
there's
the left.
yeah.
Can't see his face, but you can tell it's him. Yep.
Yep. All right. And here's our model Raven, and here is an
Yep.
NPC.
The first room you ran into a dryad. This is just kind of what this is when we this is the first year we tried doing body paint. That was crazy. Didn't know anything about it. Tried different. We had problems with yeah. So we came up with something that looked pretty good. Brian did a good job what he had to do to make them look
Yeah, it looks
like
cool to me.
dryads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just problem keeping it on. There's our
Yeah.
yep. There's one
My
of our
God.
satyrs. Yeah.
And
Him and
there's a
Mike
token.
are
There's
awesome
a
satyrs.
I think there's a token for this instrument too.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a great NPC. Speaking of, those a
Yeah.
scary NPC
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, and this is we did a special illusion with a mirror to make a harpy, which is really cool. But yeah, and this is Jean. Jean is the harpy. She was mean. We had a mic. I think it was the first time we had an NPC mic'd, and
Oh,
they really interacted well with the party.
very cool.
So, and it's just another one of the puzzles they had to figure out in the dungeon.
Yeah,
There's Terry's again.
love it. Oh no,
Oh,
this is what happened to Smack.
yeah, he got his brain sucked out right there. Sucks.
Mm-hmm. I like how he has his own clan. Clan Smackdown.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Poor Smackdown. No more brains. Um,
Yep.
this is
There they are fighting the mind flayer.
yeah, this is a very cool picture here. I think one of the earliest ones of these tokens inside these sliders, with someone
Yeah.
actually checking, the
Yep.
if it hit or not. So this is a very cool photo. And here's the group. And Thomas says that the SmackDown being his brain being sucked out kind of explains a lot. I agree there, Thomas. So this looks like two monsters they had to fight. And is this maybe a final room? Or is
Yeah, I
this a
believe
training
so.
room?
Nope.
Yeah, probably the
believe
final
this-
room.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, this guy again.
Oh, he's back.
Very scary.
Yeah. And this is from the this is an ogre guy. Ogre on the bridge.
Uh-huh. Ah, your
And
favorite puzzle.
yeah. This is where we redid some stuff here. Yeah. Favorite puzzle. I'm not
I assume you still have this stained piece of glass or whatever this is.
yeah. Yep. Still have it.
Like best of. That might be kind of cool. Here's more
I
of.
am the party.
I
Yeah.
like it.
So this is her. This is her historic first solo run ever. This is at True Realm.
Oh, I see. Okay, so this is the first solo run. Very cool. Here's her
Yeah, there
figuring out
she
the
is trying
puzzle.
to. Yeah, that she had seen previously 6 years ago. Wonder if she remembered. Yeah.
Oh no, a
Uh-oh.
mimic.
Mimic will get you every time. Careful.
So that's another good reason why we have so many of Raven. Now explain
Yeah.
what this is for those that don't know.
This is part of that mini quest. This is elastic bands that we had, and you had to crawl through. So they had to send somebody in the party, not the whole party, but somebody had to get to the other side and throw a switch, and that allowed them to bypass this. But this is your classic, sneak down the hallway quietly and avoid the laser beam thing.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Uh-oh.
Oh.
This looks like maybe a test.
Yeah, this was again just kind of all just like physical fun challenges to have in mini quest. There was a little puzzle in it. Right here you can see that there was a chest of drawers, and if you pulled the drawers out you could see that there were lettering on the bottom, and you had to rearrange it to get to spell a message.
Very smart. Sometimes you don't want to touch stuff, but I guess sometimes you have to touch stuff here. Because imagine how long it might have taken people to pull these out, So you're eating away those minutes. Oh, no.
There's brain trust. So this is a perfect thing. There's Chandler being frustrated by something, which he's always wanting to get things fixed and get things better. So that's him. And then there's Dave in deep thought about something he's trying to design or whatever. But this was at their little office there at the Marriott.
Wow. Jeff Chandler responds, never. We have photo proof. You look very frustrated here. It could be because the computers they're using are so old. Maybe that's the problem.
Could be. They should have known better back in 2008.
Speaking of young, who's this child?
There's Dave again. That's my son, Drake.
Oh, okay. He looks a lot like you.
Yep, there we are. Dave's probably trying to figure something out. I think this was at Realm, I think.
Yeah, from the shirt in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember if I have one of these shirts, but it's got like a character card that's part of the shirt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to make something funny.
Yeah. So Chandler agrees with you that that's the brain. He says that this is the brain trust. So I think he's saying that you two are the brains.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It does look like Dave saying, are you sure you want to do that? And you're like, what? Oh, speaking of smart people.
Yeah, we put this in here. This is Dennis. He's the guy that did the Hope for the Lost, and his wife, Denny. So we miss them. Wish they could still come, but that's just not in their cards after he retired.
Yeah.
So he doesn't travel that much anymore. But
there's a survivor pin. That's cool. That's an old button. Not too many of those around.
Yep. This is again from the Realm of the first. There's Stu Menard. He was DM for many years. The Hope for the Lost was, I believe, was a fundraiser for that. We raised money for Cancer Society. He got to see all this and everything. He passed away several years after this, but from his cancer. But at least he was able to see all this, and he still helped even after that. But he was one of the original DMs, and he was the guy that got me started. If it wasn't for him, I don't think True Dungeon would ever happen, because I would have never met Stefan, and then Stefan would have never introduced me to Peter. So
what do you mean got you started? Can you explain that?
Yeah, sure. In the year 2000, Stu there had a game called Beer the Card Game. It was right when card games came out and everybody was doing them, and he was a good game designer. He made these little cheap games and sold them. I think they were like $2 a piece. They were little in Ziploc bags. But one of the things he decided was he wanted to make a Beer the Card Game. So he contacted some like microbreweries and that kind of stuff, and he came up with a a fun game, and he got a booth at Gen Con in 2000, I believe it was. Yeah. And he wrote us all an email and said, hey, I got a booth. I can get you exhibitor badges. Just send me the money and I'll buy you a badge. I'm like, oh, heck, sounds great. So me and Sean McCain, we were the only ones that took him up on the offer. And so we got exhibitor badges, which is awesome, because that lets you in the exhibit hall like days early and earlier, like an hour early every day. And if you're an exhibitor, it's a great way to see everything. Anyway, so we show up Wednesday night. We right before Gen Con in 2000, and we see that was the year that third edition was coming out. So we're like, hey, let's get over to the WotC booth and see if they need any help. Maybe we can get a free copy of the Player's Handbook, or at least take a look at it. But they did not want our help at all. So
okay,
they're like, yeah, they didn't understand why we were volunteering to help them set up. They just couldn't wrap their head around it. But anyway, we went around the corner of their big castle, and there was Dwarven Forge, and they were frantically setting up, trying to get things unpacked and ready. They had a lot of problems getting the stuff there, apparently. And so we volunteered, and they're like, oh, yeah, sure. Awesome. So we worked there, maybe me and Sean, for about 3 hours, helped them set up. And afterwards, Stefan took everybody out for a drink. I know that's hard to believe, but that's what he decided to do. And so we were sitting there, and then Gary Gygax came over and sat down with us for a while. It was a crazy night. Talked to him for a while. He told us old stories of the Wild West in Lake Geneva. Apparently, it was a pretty crazy town back in the 50s and 60s. Anyway, so that got me introduced to Stefan. And long story short, after a couple of years, I invited him to come to my Jeff Con event, and he had a really good time. He saw how I would create like puzzles and props and stuff for rooms. In 2003, he was the one that suggested to Peter, who was looking for a big event, to give this crazy guy named Jeff Martin a call. He does live action D&D type stuff, and that's how True Dungeon was born. So all of that crazy long story would have never started.
Wow. With this guy cool right here.
Yeah. He would have, guy on the right. Yep. Guy with the beard. If he wouldn't have been cool and said, hey, maybe my friends might want exhibitor badge. I mean, we went over and helped him set up, but his booth was so short. It only took, small. It only took like 10, 15 minutes. But
wow.
Yeah. So
thank you to this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, without that, I
crap.
probably would have never met those guys that got all that started. So
unbelievable. And
man.
So unfortunately, he passed away. I know there's a couple of tokens with Stu at the beginning. Is one of them because of named after this gentleman?
Yeah. There's also Stu O. Everybody knows him. He's an awesome guy. So I've never really. I prefer to say that they're for both. That anytime there's a stew token, it's for both those awesome stews.
Got it. So, understood. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Wow, what a great story. Somebody mark this time. Holy crap. Thank you, Stu. And designing the beer card game and inviting Jeff taking you up. WotC saying, get out of here. You went around the corner, and the rest is history. Unbelievable. Yep. Wow. And speaking of the other Stu, here he is when he was 9 years old.
Yeah.
Right?
We had a grade school program for volunteers.
Right, to get the kids out of the house, right?
Yeah.
So what are we looking at here?
Well, this is the size of the crew we had back in the day. This is a little training sesh that Stu's leading. I just wanted to show this because it was an interesting time back then. It was much smaller, more close-knit. You actually knew everybody. And there's another, like Tony Triplets, or Tony Crap.
Tony Crap, got it.
Yeah, anyway, he passed away as well. He was an awesome volunteer.
It's like less than 15 people here. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think these are the DMs. So yeah, it was cool.
Wow. Well, thank you, volunteers. Here's a great shot of all the hit point counters.
Yeah,
I had never
back
heard
when
of
hit points would
these.
go up 21.
Yeah, yeah, that was it. Oh, I like how there's a dead. What's my hit point counter? You're dead.
You're dead.
I forget who sent me one of these. It might have been Smack or Binia. Someone sent me one, and for the first time, and I thought, what is this? I never heard of it. And
originally the DM would just write the number in on their card, but it got too slow. So we decided to let people track. That was a big controversy at the time, to let people track their own hit points. But
really, Chandler says that the crew has definitely grown, and that this was a cool idea, but the markers got knocked off too easily. It's not a super strong magnet, but it was.
Yeah, well, they would just get caught on other stuff, and it was cool. They were pretty strong. They were those nickel ones, but they were just, unfortunately, they'd encounter other metal in the dungeon sometimes and stick.
So that's a great photo of those. And I've only seen the one I have, and I guess people out there, I'm sure, have them. So now we're in 2010, and we got 10 and 11 to go. At the beginning of 10, we have this folder called Lore. And
lore.
What is the lore?
Well, we tried to come up with something for folks to do during the off season. You got to remember, we didn't have virtual, we didn't have any other events. It was it. So we thought it'd be fun to do I like bees type thing. If everybody knows what that is, you can look it up. But it was basically you get these lore tokens with a symbol. And with the help of Mike Lutz, we ended up making this kind of year-long program where you went into the website and you look at certain times and you get certain messages, and we had this whole thing planned out on how the big thing was, the reason you were doing it is you were going to find out some awesome information that would help you in the big fight with the big dragon at the end. So you found out at the very end that he was going to have a certain ion stone that took all your to hit bonuses away. So you needed to plan for that. Yeah,
that
was a rough one, but it was fun. We had a lot of fun. We had phone numbers so people would call for information. It was just there was one time we had these things that looked like they were coordinates, and it was actually a phone number, but it was presented as coordinates. And as luck would have it, it was this is totally unplanned. The coordinates were on middle of some lake on the border of Canada, I think. And we did that because we didn't want anybody like driving there and like looking around for something, because we didn't want to waste somebody's time. We figured it was in the middle of the lake. Nobody's gonna, row out to the middle of the lake.
Of course.
Unfortunately, nearby there was an island called St. Peter's Island, which is the Dragon Slayer, right? Wow. So when we're talking about dragons, it was totally unplanned, but it made it look like, I was like, oh crap, somebody's gonna get in a rowboat and go to St. Peter's Island. I didn't realize it was totally unplanned. It was funny, but eventually we got him. I think we eventually got somebody to figure out it was a phone number. Anyway. So
now
it was a fun.
So there were 40 of these tokens. I have these, and I think a lot of people have them because there were a lot of these printed. So, if I thought I remember someone telling me that some of the clues were not true. They were like red herrings. Am I remembering that correctly, or is that a different puzzle or different thing?
I think that's something. We used to have rumor tokens. I think you're thinking
about the rumors. That's right. The rumors there were some bad rumors.
Yeah.
So those are the lower tokens. And also in 2010, we've got some true Star Wars action. What's going on here?
Yeah, I think we talked about this earlier in the earlier one, but basically this is some stuff that was happening around this time. Peter called me up and said, hey, they had done Star Wars Celebration earlier, a few years earlier. I think it was in 2005, maybe. And they were redoing it again. this time instead of having it in Indy, the Star Wars is having it in L.A. at the convention center there. So they are doing a really big Star Wars celebration. They still have Star Wars celebration. I don't think it's yearly, but I think they have it every 3 years maybe or so. I don't know. But anyway, they wanted us to come and run a Star Wars event. It was awesome.
Wow. And did you?
So I did some well, I got to go out to hang out at Lucas. I got to get my picture taken in front of the Yoda statue to prove I was there. But I went to Lucasfilm. This is right when they had closed Skywalker Ranch and moved everything to the Presidio in San Francisco. So we went there, but it was awesome. I got to see the original Han Solo and Carbonite. I got to see some stuff from Hudsucker Proxy, which I really like that movie. I got to meet with the really cool folks there and all that, but it just didn't work out as far as the show. They had some problems, and they had this. It caused Gen Con to go bankrupt. So that was a scary time, but eventually, luckily, we stayed out of that. And they basically told us that we're going to cancel you because we can't really, can't really afford it. So we have to cut costs. But it was going to be awesome. I had a whole story. It was great. It was a story of the bounty hunters. You're all playing bounty hunters, and you were sent down to Alderaan before it was going to get the hell blown out of it by a certain Death Star, because Vader sensed there was a dark Sith artifact down there. And it knew its destruction was coming, and it contacted Vader and said, "Come rescue me." So he sent the bounty hunters. There's IG-88, of course, a certain Mandalorian wearing armor guy, and all the cool Bosk, all that stuff.
Wow.
And then basically at the end, you had to get out before Alderaan got blown to snot.
Sure.
So,
because you kind of know what's going to happen.
In a Dark Seth Temple. You were going to fight the ghosts of Darth Drakus. Was his name? That was named after my son, which is going to be cool. It's going to become canon because they were going to own everything. That was part of the deal, and I was fine with that. That was cool. So anyway, this is the logo. All the stuff was set, and then it didn't work out, unfortunately.
Yeah, Chandler says that you were all ready to develop the Star Wars idea. And he also says Indie Skunk Works.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. What could have been. And now we are in our normal 2010 routine. And this is in that little booklet of that module booklet. I recognize this.
Yes. I wanted to show you. This is what the module maps look like. We tried to make them look like the old fashioned first edition module ones with the blue. They did this so you couldn't photocopy it, apparently. I guess the photocopiers back in the 70s couldn't handle light blue.
Oh, funny.
So that's why they did it this way. But this was a module where we had Evading Hilt and Dragon Warden. I think this was the first time you got to see a certain NPC guy named Bibwick, masterfully performed by Jeff Chandler. He gave the I believe, and this 2010 was the start of this, the grand story arc that lasted forever. We've linked everything since then, but it all started with a certain guy named Jeff Chandler causing some trouble by summoning a dragon named Smoke.
Speaking of that, fault. This is Smoke on his pile of treasure, right?
Yeah, which is a pile of tokens. Yep.
Wow. Speaking of the pile of tokens, I think we'll get to that. Speaking of,
there's the Naglies. There's the Naglies. People. This is their Naglies. first Gen Con, I believe.
They haven't aged, by the way. This is 2010.
Yeah.
And they look the same.
Devilry. Some devilry, I think.
Yeah, they've got some type of paintings up in the attics. Yeah. So here's one of the rooms.
More of the youth.
Yeah. Scary NPC.
This is one of them. Yeah, this was the Chain Demon. I think that's Jean behind all that scariness. She was really good at that. We had him actually on the combat board. I thought it'd be fun. would try to intimidate you when you're sliding, when you get a monster like literally standing right there.
Yeah, that is scary.
So
yeah. How did it support a human standing on the table?
we made a giant over-engineered box that all it stood on. The way I made it, you probably had. Yeah, I do that all the time. I always err on the side of extreme caution on that type of stuff. So.
Looks like there's some cool markings.
Yep.
Very cool. And Chandler, about his participation, he says it was a minor projection. Is that doesn't sound as fantastic as what you were describing?
Well, it was recorded because he couldn't be there all the time, but we got permission from the Chandler State LLC Incorporated to videotape him.
Cool.
And it was projected on a mirror. It's really cool.
Got it. Okay. And it looks like by now, whoops, I was trying to zoom into over here. I don't think I can get over there too much. It looks like by now on the left-hand side, you had changed a newer wizard board.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, originally the first year they were on the actual combat board itself.
So if you hadn't seen that, go back to the first video and we have some photos of that. And what are these guys?
This is another one of those cool rooms. This one was took forever to make. There's thousands of Christmas lights, the old-fashioned incandescent ones, different colors. And then these are chroma-depth glasses, and it makes the colors have different. They filter it in a certain way that reds seem farther away than blues, etc. And so it gives it a real 3D look. So you had to solve this puzzle while wearing these glasses, and it looked really cool. So this was a fun puzzle where you had to basically figure out that you're working in 3 dimensions.
So smart.
And there was, there's Smoke.
Here is the Mr. Bad.
Yeah.
All right, so I have to do a plug. It's just really hard to see here in this particular photo, and I think we have another photo of it, but that's the Ring of Wizardry, if I'm not mistaken, and George got that in an auction, and I have it now as part of my collection. And so
this dragon look. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was one of the reasons I wanted to get out of the ballrooms was because of this. The ceilings are too low, and this thing looked really awesome in the warehouse, but the ceilings were so low we couldn't really let it fly. It was kind of static. It looked really cool, and we brought it back later when we were over at Transworld when we were over at ICC, and we were able to show it off how it looked when it got up high. So
yeah.
But this was cool. This was the first time we had not the first time. We also did, I think, in 2008, but we had 2 groups that went through 2 different modules. And at the end, they got to both try to work together to kill the monster. So there's all the tokens. There's Chandler yet again.
He's everywhere.
Yep. This is the year that we got the guild and Will Wheaton to come in and to play. It was fun. They were people don't realize how big the guild was back then. Probably this was really fun to see them get to play, and we got them. We had 2 spots, so I had a friend of mine, Jeff Brommel, and Chandler. I thought he had worked very hard over the years, and he deserved to take the last spot. So he got to play with these guys, had fun, I guess. He wrote a little blog about it, I think, later. So I don't know if it's still up or not, but
cool. So Kirk has corrected me that Smoke was a she. So apparently there was an egg.
Yeah.
So I've always said he. So I should say she. So and Tom remembers
later
that
on
mirror.
you find out.
Yeah, Tom remembers that mirror table in VTD because that was kind of brought back.
Yeah.
And then
what was exciting? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going. I'm sorry. I should have told you. I'm reading the chat. So from the chat, Chandler says 3 Jeffs in our crew. Thomas says love the guild. Chandler says it was fun. And he played the bard. Okay, so go ahead, Jeff.
No worries. So, yeah, the story about this was that this monster was a dragon, so I made it really hard to kill. The party basically had 3 rounds to try to kill it, or then it breathed on them and just toasted them all.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it was a 3-round limit, and that's all you had. And I had 90-something% of people died. People were not happy with me, that's for sure. I was like, man, it's a dragon. You shouldn't, people are gonna die. So we did have a special token that year. It was a long spear of dragon slaying or something like that. And we actually gave some tokens to the guild folks. You can see they're wearing some that I think other people donated. So they were geared up. And one of them was Will Wheaton actually had the dragon slaying spear. But the only way that would work is if you slid a natural 20, and that the damage dot was facing the damage dot. So it was really hard, and I made the 20 crit really small. Wow. I think a monk earlier had gotten bumped into it and managed to quivering palm it. But in the very last round, couldn't made it anymore. Unbelievable. But in the 3rd round, everybody else had slid. No, there's one guy that was left, and everybody's like, well, this is it. You got to slide a 20 with that dragon slaying, or you're all gonna get fried. And by God, he did it. He slid it. It was amazing. I was flipping out. It was crazy.
Wow.
So it saved me. I was like, yep, see, it could be done. I was totally crazy. Somebody killed the part. Somebody one-shot the dragon. So
wow.
Yeah, and we ended up making a token of it next year. I think it was Will's Dragonheart charm.
Right. That's a very cool token. Plus 4 HP, maybe, I think.
They had a blast. They got to kill the dragon. So
unbelievable. They look so happy here. That's that smile that I've been talking about for a few shows now. That's the smile. Chandler also says Smoke had special recordings made for the guild members specifically. So wow.
Yeah. Jeff and Radke's, they hooked up this control box, and we had these things that would taunt Will Wheaton in the guild. So they specifically designed for them, so it would actually talk. Can you pan down on this photo?
Is that the
There's
dragon
the pile
egg?
of tokens.
Oh, the dragon.
Yeah, the back.
The horde.
If you grab the dragon egg, she wouldn't attack you because she didn't want to damage the egg. Anyway, there is the dragon. There's the treasure hoard.
Oh my God!
And you see a lot of wooden tokens on there.
I do see that.
A lot of old woodies were in there. They're all being trampled on and broken. I just thought I'd show that to you to ruin your day.
Are any of the ones I'm missing in this pile here?
Probably.
They better not be. Oh my God! Now I'm angry. That photo sucks. Let's move on to the next one.
All right.
And I think
here's the riddle view. There's Lori with her really. This is she had a really good time this year. I think.
That's cool.
This one.
And this is Incognito.
Yep.
Very cool. He's looking very dapper.
Yeah, he was dapped out. I'm not sure why he was, but
maybe just it was handsome day. He can't help it.
Yeah, could be.
Oh,
and
here it
back.
is. So there's George. Yeah. Obviously, George.
Yeah, he got a Sturge and he got the ring at the auction. Yeah.
Wow. I do not have the Sturge, but I have the ring. That's a very cool. It was velcroed around the finger of the dragon. And who's this crow?
Right. These are all the troublemakers hanging out in the alley behind the. Now this is how we used to haul everything in. It was really bad situation at the Marriott. It was really tight. It was an alley. They had to back a full-size truck in. Anyway, I thought I'd show you some of the awesome crew that would come in early to set all this up. You can also see us in the next photos unloading smoke and how much.
Oh yeah, I see John here. The Nagleys. Yeah. Wow.
There's Warren. There's cool. Jen with reading the map going.
Where does this go? And here's the horde.
Yeah. Yep. Those are all the tokens we brought to pile up. Yep.
Shoosh. Oh my God, those are probably so heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's smoked
There's the
wings.
wings. Yeah.
In the chat, Ian says that Incognito was into looking stylish. Okay, there. Now we know.
He did.
He was succeeding. All right, what is this?
This is just part of the piston that drives that dragon. You can just kind of click through these. Just wanted to show how the dragon was real. Yeah, we were trying to put this thing together. It was really heavy, and
Oh, there's this metal structure that was part of it up top
here. Yeah, that's how it would raise and lower.
Oh, okay.
It looks really cool. There's the wings being put on. There, it's parachute material.
Cool.
There's, Shelly, and this is the front. The real reveal sign in the back.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Uh-oh,
another NPC, Ice Demon. We had some glowing horns are cool, and the glowing hand things. Wow. That was a fun table. There's another illusion where it looked like this is Michelle. She played a cleric that was like imprisoned in this cage. This is in the puzzle group had to free her, and then the other ones tried to defeat the dragon.
Right. Now, am I mistaken? Doesn't this mean something here in the upper left-hand corner?
Yeah, the little blue. For a while, if there was a treasure available in that room, it used to be you had to be successful in a room to get the treasure. This might have been the last year that.
Probably was the last year. But I wanted to show people that, So Thomas says that means it's a token room. So for the people who didn't know, if you saw that and you succeeded, you would get a token. But it slowed things down, and some people kept pushing each other. Oh, you gotta, we gotta solve it for the token. So it was taken out of there and moved to the epilogue, right?
Yeah, they'd ruin it just so they.
Yeah,
it's understandable. They really want a token. This is Michelle with the evading hilt that she's trying to stab the dragon with. So.
Wow, it's a very cool photo. Yep. Here's a puzzle.
Just more puzzles.
A nice. This crew's decked out. Look at them.
Yeah, they're all set up.
Excellent. Yep.
There's Stu.
Yep. He's not wearing a kilt though. I wonder when the kilt started.
No.
I just realized that.
I don't think he was old enough to wear a kilt this time.
So here's John.
And this is, I think, we at one time for a while we had a hospitality suite where volunteers could come up and get food before we had stipends. And this way that it was, because it was just like you didn't have a lot of time. Even if you had all the money in the world, and you had to go stand in line for a long time to get some food.
Yeah.
This is the way you just go upstairs and grab a drink, grab some sandwich, and grab a quick meal. Low stress.
This is a true dungeon fan. She's eating, volunteering as well, but also looking at tokens. Right.
There you go.
That's great. Oh, that's wonderful. I love it. Yeah. Here's that puzzle.
This is a nice, this is that nice shot of the Christmas tree room that took forever to build, and it was really hot in there because those are old incandescent bulbs, and there was a roof on there and a Mylar roof, and it got pretty toasty in there.
I bet. Yeah. In the chat, Thomas says, wasn't the last year, I wasn't playing yet, and I saw many. So I guess he's talking about the treasure stamps, so that must have, maybe it landed a year or so after that. And Kurt Resner says, there were a few years of treasure stamps instead of drawing tokens in the dungeon. I've heard those horror stories. That was way before my time, but I've heard of those horror stories.
Tony, there's Tony again. Yeah, he was a good volunteer, good guy. Miss him. Good dude.
Very cool. And that is our final photo from 2010. So let's jump to our last year, 2011. And here we are. So 2011, this is the cool map.
Yeah, you can see the little blue. We had an underwater adventure, and we had we had like a puzzle and a combat version, I think.
Oh, cool. That's right. 2011. There's a lot of cool water tokens.
Yeah. And then we had, I think this is the first year that we had like a themed true grind where it wasn't just like bunch of we spent a lot of time. I mean, it was called Bloodbeard's Bounty, and this was the first time there was ever any kind of pirate stuff in TD. It was up there, but this was fun. We had it was mostly underwater, and at the end you had to fight the sea lich. Yeah,
very cool. Oh, there's a lot of fun tokens from 2011. So here's the build crew.
There's the build crew. Yep, more behind the scenes fun. Seeing them pouring over the map.
Yeah, for people who've never seen this, I think it's really interesting that this is how it starts.
This is the electrical
right?
crew. This is Mike Lutz and his electrical crew. I think he's showing them. They're the people that would run all the wires, and he's showing them what to do.
Yeah.
So Mike's always been helpful. One of the animatronics is a gargoyle.
Wow. What's this ring here? Do you recall?
I think it's the key.
I'm sorry, I meant key.
Yeah, you had to get the key to leave, so I had to defeat him.
I see. That was part of the story. Got it.
Yeah.
Ooh,
there he is
how
again.
scary. My God. Uh-oh.
Yep.
Speaking of arachnophobia.
This is the worst monster ever to put in a True Dungeon module, a rust monster. Yeah, I thought for about 5 minutes to make it real that basically if the monster ate your sword, you had to turn in your sword token and we would destroy it in front of you.
People would have been like, no. So I thought this was a spider. This is a rust monster? Do rust monsters look like spiders?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought this was a spider.
Looks really cool. Nope, this is a rust monster.
Yeah.
So you might have lost your weapon or armor or something in this fight, but it wasn't permanent.
Yeah. I have only seen, I've never seen this monster until this photo, but sometimes Incognito would do rust monsters in True Grind.
Yep.
Wow.
Here's another puzzle. Yep, this is a fun puzzle. Again, we use that invisible UV paint that would, for basically you got a clue that would illuminate the whole room with a clue on how to solve the puzzle, but it only lasted for like 5 seconds. So the whole party had to spread out and look for clues. And they had to move the key around based on the lights. It's cool. It's a pretty puzzle.
How did these lights light up, the ones that are on the wall? Because I've seen this. The NPC will say you've got a scroll and it works only 3 times or something. Or were these on the whole time? Do you recall?
No, the arrows. Those are that's just that UV reactive paint that would become invisible when we turned a UV light on. A black light would come on and it would show for like 5 seconds and then go out.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah. So how did you get those 5 seconds? Was it once, or was it
depended on the room? But I think you had to. Depending on, we've used it several times. Sometimes you took damage every time you activated it. Sometimes you just got a certain number. Yeah.
I see. Yeah. Cool. I wanted to keep this one here because
it's pirate.
Yeah, it's just such a great photo of the tokens and how it works. +2 Scepter of Might. It looks like there's 3 of those here. That must have been the popular one. An Orb of Might and Dagger of Arcane Luck. Oh, I think that might be an underrated token by the way. Yeah, it's a cool photo. Chandler says he just sent me the blog post about the guild run.
Cool.
Chandler, are you you want me to show that during the show, or is that just for my future reading?
Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments so people can see it later. Maybe.
All right. Okay. So that's what's Jeff's suggestion. All right. So speaking of True Grind, here's how the True Grind. This is where you would meet.
And you go in. Yep. This is one of the passage doors. That's why we had to move the tavern to the back.
Mm-hmm.
So.
This group, they're not doing that smile. I think they're trying to look tough. So
I think this is before. This is when they're all serious faced.
Oh,
they got up.
And maybe they were happy after.
Yeah. This is the room that had these little spheres with mirrors, and you had to it It was a green laser. You had to bounce it around the room and get it to a certain place. Based on it.
Really?
Yep.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah. There's the intro. At the Allegra and her sister. They gave the intro that year. They
Wow.
were clerics, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the first puzzle. You had to get these. You had to use this octopus, stretch the octopus, and basically put these spheres where they go.
Wow.
It was fun.
This is a great example for a group puzzle.
I guess somebody got a ball because there's Will and Heidi. They're looks like they're having fun.
Yeah. You said this guy's kind of a cut up for anybody who might know him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are these the Buka Babes
Will's
again?
a character. Everybody knows Will, knows he's a character.
Ah.
Yep, this is the Buka Babes, I guess. Next one. Again, there's Fritz on the left.
Thank you,
He's the one that
Fritz.
took most of the photo. Yep.
Ooh.
We had a mermaid that year. A lot of people liked that. That was cool. We had tried 12 different ways to make a mermaid. We came up with something that worked fairly well. There's a lot of really cool mermaid costumes, but they're hard to get in and out of, and volunteers need to, use the restroom occasionally and that kind of stuff. So we couldn't really do that. So we had to come up with some kind of halfway.
Got it.
So there was the mean lady at the end that you had to fight. She started out as a chair. That's why she's wearing that like chair fabric.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Polymorph into it. Yeah, when you walked in, she was a chair.
No way.
Listen to you plot and everything, and then she's like, "Boo, gotta get you."
That's awesome.
Yeah, here's just a puzzle that had it was a kind of an anagram thing. You had a, believe it or not, there's a lot of words you can make with the word lager. So,
something just dawned on me. I don't know if it was in 2010 or if it was 11, but look at the player cards. Do you recall?
yeah,
This was the first
I think
year?
it was 10.
10. Okay.
No, it was 11.
Well,
It
this
was
is 11. If it was 11.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I think it was
Wow.
11.
Very cool. And also, besides the player cards, it was also the fifth level. So you did fifth, because this is a fifth level here, right?
Yeah, that was with the might set. You saw the only way you could do it back then was with the yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we had a lot. We had planned that for a while, and it was like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I just noticed that. I've seen this photo a couple of times, and it just dawned on me that the player cards must have changed. In chat,
Yeah.
Kurt says, Kat almost sat on her before she got up to transform.
Yeah.
That must have been a convincing chair. So that's cool.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. All right, there's some more goofballs.
Goofballs.
This is our first sit-down puzzle, I think. Yeah, you had to arrange the cutlery to form a message.
Wow. Not to go crazy, but I mean, I just noticed this stack of tokens here.
Yeah.
I don't know why my eyes go to those tokens.
Who knows? Weird.
Uh-oh. This is Brian, right?
Yep. Yep. Another puzzle. This one you had to make a rune out of. It's supposed to be like a. Yeah, you had to make a rune out of this thing. It's a piece of a ship to get your ship to stop leaking.
Oh,
so you're able to. Yep.
Very cool.
Yep. Here's a little bridge. Fun over a chasm thing you had to do.
Wow.
It was fun.
Now I haven't seen him in chat, but I'm going to tell him to go and see himself. If I'm not mistaken, this is Dave, the famous author and big supporter of True Dungeon.
There he is.
Hi, Dave. Look, I wonder if this was his first year. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the end, and yeah.
Wow. Very
Good
cool.
folks.
And here's the riddle reveal. This is our final photo of 11.
Well, yep. And look at that hat that Mike's wearing. He is dapper.
He can't help it.
Yep. You got to zoom in on that hat.
Oh, okay. Well, then no problem.
See, there you go. Look at that.
I'm impressed by that. Those luscious locks as well.
Miladies.
Oh, and there's John.
Yeah. Yeah. Michelle. They were
Michelle.
like, they did all the work that year.
Oh,
Get
wow.
everything prepped. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then on the back you'll see Fritz's photos. She made a nice little
Right.
presentation every year.
For those of you who have never seen the riddle reveals, I'm so sorry that you haven't seen them. They are so cool. But yeah, that was the before times.
Yeah.
And Thomas says
Yeah.
no heels for
Back
Dave.
then we didn't. Yeah, back then we didn't really do Sundays, so it was possible to tear down and then do a riddle reveal. But we had to tear it. I had to tear down Dwarven Forge also. So we had that all tore down well before. It was all cleared out.
So you were doing a 2-for-1 at this time.
I would stay up all night to help get everything wrapped, and then I would go to sleep for a while, and I think a couple other folks would load. So.
How much longer did you work with Dwarven Forge? So this would have been 11.
Yeah. Geez, it's hard to say. I think I've been away from them for a while now, maybe 6 or 7 years. It's been a while.
So you
got
kept
to do
going.
the first two Kickstarters, got them there, and yep, good times. I'm going to see Stefan. Oh, here's a little bit of a spoiler. I'm doing a seminar at Gen Con. Dun, dun, dun.
What?
The 20th anniversary special awesome fest. So I got Stefan's coming and Peter's coming to tell the story of how they figured out that trust me to do True Dungeon, how they got together. And I'm going to try to get some other folks in there, see what happens.
What?
Yep.
What? Wait, what? You're doing like a symposium or like an event where we can buy tickets or like an auditorium? What are you talking about here?
It's a seminar. A seminar. Just a seminar, whatever that means.
Wow. But
it'll be
it's
free
you.
and-
You're the main person, and you're going to talk about the 20 years of True Dungeon.
Well, it's going to be mostly, it's going to be how it all got started. And then, I guess, 20 years is way too much stuff to talk about. But talk about some of the highlights over the years, talk about some of the awesome people, and then maybe talk a little bit about what's coming up shortly. Future.
Wow. That's cool. You heard it here first, and I hadn't heard this yet either. Wow. Well, I'll make sure to attend this seminar. It sounds great. Well, so
Cool.
That sounds like a nice spot to wrap it up. Jeff, once again, thank you so much for walking us down memory lane for 2008 through 2011. It's a special treat to see all these photos and hear all the stories, and hopefully for the people who played back then, it brings back great memories. And for the newer people such as myself who didn't play then, it's great to hear about all that history. So I really do appreciate it, and thank you so much, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks for everybody putting up with me droning on and on about the old days.
It's going to be awesome. Cool. I think it's going to be awesome for people who have never seen this stuff. So I appreciate it very much. And the next one will be episode 4, and we haven't figured out what years we're going to do, but the plan is to try to do the rest of the years this year, the 20th anniversary of True Dungeon.
Yeah.
So we'll figure that out. So in chat, Dave says, thank you. Thanks, Jeff and Trent. Thomas Whelan says he loves the stories. Tom says, great show. Looking forward to seeing a bunch of y'all at MomoCon. Are you going to MomoCon, Jeff?
That's unless my parole officer says otherwise, I'm good to go.
All right, yeah, I'm going, so I hope to see you and everybody else there. We'll let you go, and again, thank you so much, Jeff, for everything. I really do appreciate it, and we'll see you at the next one. All right, thank you, Jeff.
Thanks for having me.
All right,
Take care.
Thank you. See you next time. All right, so that was Jeff Martin, and we just went over 2008 through 2011 on the 2011 through the 20th year anniversary retrospective, episode 4. We'll figure out what years we're going to do there. Clearly, we're going to start with 12, and we'll see how far we go. Thank you all very much for watching. Oh, and I forgot that algorithm stuff. Yeah, if you, especially if you're watching this far along, hopefully by now you've liked and subscribed and share and all that other good algorithm stuff. I really appreciate it. It's good for the show to get the word out. And I love saying this here. It's really, really difficult to frown if you're smiling. So again, thanks for watching and smile.